I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Good morning, J.R. Sands.
Good morning, everybody, and it's time to start the show.
Boom, I love that sound. Is that a chorus? Oh, no, that's a ghost. Cool.
No, it's not Beer 30 yet.
So we are hoping Super Dave joins us in a little bit. Brother Dave is not available. Jim is still not back in town. So here we are, just the two of us. There's a song about that. Just the two of us. Anyway, you want to kick off the pledge, JR?
Sure thing.
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for this day and the work in front of us. Watch over our drivers, our fleet, and every family connected to us. Keep us mindful, patient, and steady in every decision we make on the road. If it's your will, God, keep us safe from accidents and harm, and bring us home to our families at the end of the day. Be with those who are sick. Bring healing, strength, and peace. No matter what comes, teach us to trust you in all things. We give you the glory, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything you hear on today's podcast is not the opinion of JFW's. It's just my or JR's and I's opinions.
Yep.
Episode 233 had 258 downloads. We were at 117.5 thousand total downloads, and we have 998 followers.
Nice.
Yep.
Those numbers keep climbing every week, slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm. JR, you know what happens when you slap somebody with high frequency?
Slap somebody with high frequency. No.
It mega hurts.
That makes sense.
It's time for the dad joke challenge. It's just me and you, so.
All right,
it's like we're arm wrestling.
So it's World Cup month. So right now the World Cup started a few days ago, so I got one for that. So a guy manages to get in front a front row ticket to the World Cup final. As he sits down, he notices the seat next to him is completely empty. He leans over to the guy on the other side and says, "Who in their right mind would leave a front row seat empty for the World Cup final?" The neighbor sighs and says, "Well, that was my wife's seat. We bought them years ago, but she passed away." So the first guy feels terrible and he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But couldn't you have given the ticket to a friend or a relative?" And the neighbor shakes his head, "No, they're all at the funeral."
I love that. That's funny.
You wonder if the wife would have did the same.
That's a good one, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
New employees this week, we have Juan Ramirez. Let's welcome Juan to the fleet. Welcome,
Juan. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I had him for orientation, so really engaged as far as learning our policies and everything JFW pretty much.
Nice. Like to hear that.
Good deal.
Celebrations, anniversaries.
Scobdo
Slack hit 5 years this past Sunday.
Congrats, Scooby. 5 years, buddy.
Yep.
And good to have him here.
Yeah, it's more than 5 years, but 5 consecutive years.
Yeah.
And then Hoochie Lee, he hit 4 years or will hit 4 years this coming Saturday.
Nice. Congrats, Hooch.
Yep.
4 years is no joke.
Yep. We have no employee birthdays this week, but we do have one family birthday celebration, and that is Esteban Vital. His son, Esteban Emiliano, his birthday is tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Esteban.
Yep.
Emiliano.
Yes.
Esteban Jr.
Yes, exactly. Shout outs. I only have one shout out this week, And it is a big, 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 huge, giant shout out. And that is for Kendrick Anthony over at Yard 23. Last week, as soon as I did it, I knew, like, after the show, I missed it. Just Kendrick's always at Yard 23, outworking everybody. Jim and Brother Dave and Scooby are usually, well, not as of recent, but them being over there more is kind of stuck out to me a little bit. But, man, I felt really bad because Kendrick's been part of that whole process from the very beginning, and he's a tough one to outwork, man.
They're out there building our future, and I kind of added to that. Yeah, shout out to Kendrick for sure, and Brother Dave, Scooby. They've been out there this whole time, getting our future ready, pretty much.
Building our future. Wow.
Yeah, building our future.
Yep. You have any shout outs, JR?
No, that was pretty much part of it.
Don't like anyone.
In addition, not this week.
Sweet. Moving right along. We did get, it's not really a shout out, but we got a really nice letter from Jalissa Tarango Romero. If you don't know who that is Gandhi's fiance.
Yep. We've had the pleasure of meeting her.
Not his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't get it confused. Fiance. Right? So she writes, I'm Gandhi's fiance. I'm a frequent listener to your podcast. I heard a quote recently that I thought would be wonderful to share with the drivers and the podcast audience, especially for anyone who might be having a difficult day. The quote is, healing is weird. Some days you're okay and doing just fine. Other days it still hurts like it's fresh. It's a process with no definitive time frame. You just have to keep going and know that when all is said and done, you're going to be okay. You're going to make it, okay? I trust you. Picture healing like a roller coaster. Some days you're in a high feeling good and steady. Other days it's like a dip. The pain is back, but here's the thing. It's a journey with lots of twists. You have to take steps forward on those days, on those rough days. Be kind to yourself. Imagine each stop as a victory, even the small ones. Healing is a messy masterpiece, and it's time, and time is its paintbrush. Let me say that again. Healing is a messy masterpiece, and time is its paintbrush. Like that.
Yeah.
Keep going. When it's all said and done, you look back and see how far you have come. I hope this is something you can include. Best regards, Jalissa Tarango Romero.
That is so true, Jam. I mean, we all face, ups and downs. Life is mountains and valleys. Some days the mountains, it's difficult to get up the mountains and over, right? But some days it's just easier. I know yesterday I had one of those days. It's kind of like one of those mental days, you're just stuck in your thoughts and whatever, but at the end of the day, there is no bad days. There's only bad moments, and they only last as long as you want them to.
I like that. Yeah, I was worried about you yesterday. Just kidding. I knew you were going to be all right.
Well, I think that's the cool thing about knowing, ourselves, working every day together, and drivers that are engaged and come talk to us. We get to know everybody here at JFW, right? And I think we learn how everybody is on their good days and when there's something that's off.
Man, we have a new driver. He's probably less than 4 weeks. But I could tell yesterday right away, just from being around him for 4 weeks, something was bugging him.
Yeah.
So it's true.
Yeah, you pick up on those things.
Yep. Jalissa, you have earned yourself a spot on the podcast. Please let us know when you could appear. We record Wednesdays at 7 a.m.
Yeah, thank you, Jalissa. It's always nice to have somebody directly, indirectly part of the JFW family that chimes in and puts in their own seed, Sorry.
That is alcohol.
I know, just a little gassy on the Ghost energy drink.
Jalissa, we're not kidding, just so you know. Also, before I get in trouble, because Brother Dave just asked me about if I received this shout out from him, and I was like, yes, and I almost forgot to read it. So, shout out and thank you to Paul Lenzini. He was up here from Florida for his wife's funeral services and stopped by and jumped right in, helped with getting the 2-inch conduit under the sidewalks out front and cleaning up the first fuel spill at the fuel aisle. So, yeah, here's a guy in town for a funeral, for his wife's funeral, and he's over there working at Yard 23.
Yeah, I had the privilege of meeting him yesterday. I was out there helping at Yard 23 yesterday morning. The little I can do to help, deliver some metal that we didn't eat or anything back to the recycling center, but
Nice.
I got back just in time for lunch, and they were all standing there. Hey, JR, come and join us to Ted's place. Let's go have some lunch, and had the pleasure of meeting Paul. So shout out to Paul, and seems like a really nice guy. I guess he used to work for JFW and lives out in Florida.
Sweet. What'd you get over there for lunch?
I specifically ordered a smothered steak burrito.
Nice.
So it was actually really good. So hit the spot.
Probably would have really enjoyed that. All right, let's get into meat and potatoes. Number 1 on my list, don't be a sitting duck. Now, I've talked about this before. JR, do you remember what that means?
Yeah, it just means don't put yourself in a situation that can be dangerous.
Yes, exactly right. So yesterday or the day before, we had a driver, had a small problem with his truck, and he pulled over right on the shoulder of Highway 85.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Not the best idea at all, honestly, guys. I mean, if we have to be on the shoulder, that's one thing. If we can make it to the next exit or make it to the pit or to a safe spot, it doesn't take much for somebody to swerve over that fog line just a little bit, and now we got a catastrophe, especially on Highway 85. Those trucks and cars are doing 65 miles an hour plus. If they happen to catch the corner of your trailer, well, guess what? And then guess who's getting sued? JFW, because we shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
On the shoulder of the road.
I think of distracted driving too. So much distraction out there that people aren't paying attention. If they come over and hit the trailer, it'll
open up a car like a can opener.
Yeah. It's one thing to be broken down and you have to pull over. We get that, right? But if you have the choice of pulling over, pull over to a safe spot.
Yeah.
Safe spot somewhere away from traffic and, out of danger.
Exactly.
Reminds me of that video. Did you see that, Jam? It was a road rage video that came up on on Facebook. I guess it happened sometime last week.
With the red truck that everyone's asking me about?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a red truck dash cam, but it's of 2 cars in front that stopped like right in the middle lane of I-70, I
road
guess.
Rage.
And they actually got out and, just road rage. And that's a perfect example of being a sitting duck. You're right in the middle of traffic. Somebody comes up and just...
Middle lane stopped on I-70, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was I-70.
Yeah. It was weird. I got a text message from my sister with the video. Hey, is this one of yours? Then I got a text message from 2 of our drivers. Hey, was this us? And then I got a call from my buddy Steve Montoya, and he was like, hey, did you see that red video? Is that one of you guys? I'm like, it's just a red truck.
Yeah, it's ours. Red hood, and it had the same mirrors that our trucks has. So yeah, I get it. Yeah. At first when I saw it, I was like, holy crap, is that us?
I mean, to me, there's only 2 people that would send that out to someone.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in this room. So
and we do pretty well communicating before we even do that. So.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Number 2 on my list, or let me say our list. There's no I in team, but there is in winning. Turn your trucks off in the fuel aisle. Not at the def tank, but when you come to fuel, we like you to turn your trucks off in the fuel aisle for a few different reasons. Number 1, there's no reason to idle your truck and waste diesel, right? We're just sitting there. Your truck's going to be off 2 to 5 minutes. You might as well just turn it off. It's not like the old school days where, you ran your truck and it would take 30 minutes for that engine to cool off and you need to leave it running for the coolant to get some of that heat out of it. These trucks, you could turn them right off. You don't have to let them cool off. The other reason, well, there's 2 more reasons. One is it's a good opportunity for us in the fuel aisle to listen for air leaks.
Yeah, we're there to help you out,
Yeah.
And including yourself. I mean, if nobody's there, it's a lot better to look for those air leaks, any type of air leak when it's quiet.
Absolutely. One thing you could do, you could actually pull your Johnny bar, because that's going to send air to your trailer and you can listen for leaks like that. Yep. So, and then the third reason is us on the safety team, we're standing out there, sometimes for a few hours helping guys out. That noise pollution just kind of wears you down a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
We don't want to yell and have to have a hard time hearing. And we just like it quiet.
And then here at this yard, you got the shop, they're bringing trucks in and out. You hear the backup alarms, the horns, and that's obviously not going to be happening at the new yard. And even at the new yard, the fuel setup is going to be a little different than here, right? But still, it's a good idea to turn off your trucks and, listen for those air leaks. And if I could add to that too, don't leave your fuel pump. Don't leave the fuel pump. We've already had several spills over the years. We always do, right? Something happens, somebody leaves, somebody's doing a post trip while they're fueling, which and if you're leaving the truck on, the vibration itself,
Yep.
it's going to make that pump come out. And always happen to the person that says, "Oh, nothing's going to go on," and as soon as they turn away,
boom,
pump comes out and it drops 5 gallons, and 5 gallons seems like it's 20 gallons on the ground.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. The other thing is, if you spill fuel, your mom and dad don't work here. Guess who should be cleaning that up? Or at least helping or starting the process. We like to get some road base, which is over by pump 1, the north pump. We like to get a couple shovels of road base if it's a small spill. If it's a big spill, we need quite a few, maybe 20 shovels of road base down on that spill. But don't expect the safety team just to do it for you. You spilt it. You spilt it. Cover it up, let people run over the road base, and that'll help soak it up. And then, we'll probably get it from there. But at least initiate it or tell somebody, or, don't just drive off. Your tires go through the puddle and then you're just
tracking
everywhere. Fuel everywhere. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're there definitely happily we'll help out and everything, but at the end of the day, you're the one that spilt it. Have a little bit of responsibility there and help us out with getting a little bit of that road base on there.
Yep. Next on our list, Saturday coverage. How to request it and how to use the Saturday coverage chat. If you need to have a Saturday off that you're scheduled to work, you must find coverage. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, except for the one caveat, you are on vacation. So if you're on vacation the week prior, or even the Friday before, and then the Monday, or even just the Friday or Monday, we consider that being on vacation, and we don't require you to find coverage because that's just kind of a bummer. Like, you're going on vacation, you shouldn't have to worry about coverage. If you are just asking for a solo Saturday off with no other days, you need to find coverage. The first thing you want to do when you find coverage, the first thing you need to do is find coverage, whether that be on the Saturday group chat and Connect team, or you group text me and the person that's covering for you via text message, email, whatever the case may be. You need to start some kind of group communication so that person that's covering for you can confirm with me that they're covering.
Yeah, that chat is great, Jam, and all.
It is, but it isn't.
I'm still the old school way. I'm like, hey, let me get on the company radio day of, if I know I need this next Saturday off, hey guys, anybody want to, I'm going to put it on a group chat, but
I'm busy. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, I thought you wanted me to cover.
No.
Yeah. Yep. You could get on the radio, but you would still have to put it in writing. So just so you know, the old school way, it's funny, JR, because you say the Saturday group chat's great. It is, but it isn't. Mm-hmm. The thing that isn't great about it is it's made it so easy, right, to find coverage, which is great for the drivers, and we appreciate that. But there's a lot more people asking for coverage on Saturdays all the way up to Friday afternoon, right? Yeah. Which isn't really fair to dispatch, because once they dispatch you, they got to undispatch you and plug new people in, and there should be a cutoff. I just hate over regulating and policy, like everything.
Try to be as open as possible.
Yeah. So I'm hoping not to have to do that, but we need to be respectful. The other thing is, so many people are covering, we have less volunteers sometimes, right? Where, we need volunteers that just want to work Saturday and not cover for people. But anyway, getting back to the process. Once you find somebody to find coverage, once you find somebody that's going to cover for you, put it in a group chat, text message, whatever you prefer. You could even not put it in a group chat and just Connect team message me with you and the other person. That works fine. I don't look in the group chat. You're not done yet. I don't look in the group chat to see who's covering for who and make notes of that. That's not how that works. That's just for you to find coverage. Used to be, you have to have a piece of paper. We had a Saturday coverage sheet. You would find that driver. You guys would sign it and put the dates on it and then give it to me. And we had it on writing in a piece of paper. What you have to do after you find coverage is you have to request the time off in Connect Team. You have to go to the calendar or wherever you go and hit add and request the time off for that Saturday. And then in the notes, you want to put the driver and their truck number of who's covering for you. It's very important, right? Don't just request time off and now I don't know who's covering for you. The other thing we don't need to know is what you're doing on a Saturday. Like, it's cool if you want to put that in there, but that's not helping us know who's covering for you.
Yeah.
Saying you're going, for example, got tickets to a Rockies game. Well, cool story, bro. Who's covering for you, right? So put that information in there. What happens is I see that time off request. I see who's covering for you. I check their group to see what group they're in. I go to the Saturday calendar. I see who's working, and I make sure they're in the right group.
Yep.
Then I go to the Saturday time off calendar and I look to see and make sure they're not already covering for somebody else. Once that's all done, I approve the time off. Then I get in a Saturday chat or wherever you mention that you have coverage, and I will let you know individually that that time off has been approved.
Yeah, as simple as that. It's really nice. Yes, it's very simple to get on the chat. I guess what I was thinking about, Jam, because you're saying that you're not always looking in that chat. Yeah, the chat is there it's basically that piece of paper, right? It's
Right.
having both drivers, you're tagging them, you're tagging Jam and saying, hey, this person's going to, take over for me, take my Saturday, right? Ultimately, what you're really looking at is for that request and connect team.
That triggers me to look.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
What I don't think a lot of the drivers understand is how many chats we have.
Oh.
You guys may have maybe 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Maybe a separate chat with separate groups, which we don't know about, right?
I got 53 chats.
And Saturday coverage.
Right.
And us, we got 115 drivers, or basically the whole company for your case, right? For time off, you have the whole company on there getting on there, right? So that's about 150 employees that could be sending you a message, and to sort through that, it's quite a bit. So
yeah, and so what's beautiful is some drivers, they've just never done it before, and they're like, hey, I've never done this. I see you've approved everybody else's because they're seeing the approved messages coming through, but you haven't approved mine. Why? Well, here's the reason: you never requested it. So also, just so you know, this isn't just one driver out there that's done it. The reason it's on the show is it's becoming more frequent where people don't understand how it works, which is a good problem to have.
Well, that's the point of the podcast, right? Is to educate, coach, and teach you guys, or at least inform you guys of what the process is of whatever it is that we're speaking of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. JR, do you want to speak about the 14-hour local exception rule?
Yeah, I can definitely do so, and we can get into hours of service there.
Great.
So, guys, we are a local company. We ask you guys to clock in on Connect Team if you're staying here local within 150 air miles. If you don't understand what that means that 150 air miles is basically as the crow flies. What does that amount to? About 172 miles, road miles, Jam, I believe?
176, I think.
Or is it
somewhere between 172 and 176, yeah.
Anyhow, even though we're local guys, we still have to adhere by the 14-hour shift. Now, your 14-hour shift starts at the time that you log in and come in, and it stops at the time that you guys actually are done for the day. You've turned the key off, set your brakes, all that good stuff, and you're headed out after your post trip. So we're limited to the 14-hour daily shift and a 10-hour reset. The 10-hour reset's very, very important, guys, because that's what shows that we're getting enough rest, that you as a driver are getting enough rest for the next day, and you're ready for another 14-hour shift. Technically, it's an 11-hour drive time. If you were doing outside the 150 air miles, you're running on ELD. Being local, guys, we're going to be out there for, 10, 11, 12 hours, maybe even up to 14 hours for some of you. However, the 14-hour shift, in that 14-hour shift for what we do, what would you think that we do driving in total, Jam, if we really logged it? Maybe 6 hours, maybe 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because we stop so much and we're idling as we're waiting, to get loaded, all that time is technically on duty if we were really to track it and all that stuff. But it's just very important you guys are on top of that. And if I may add too, because I'm looking at the hours of service in Samsara to make sure that you guys aren't in violations and stuff, I'm starting to see a trend that a lot more people are still staying on duty or staying signed into their vehicles and stuff. And we keep asking you guys to please leave the vehicle so that way it's not incurring violations that we're not supposed to be getting, even though we're not technically on the ELD. However, if you're a driver that does like to volunteer, to go out of town, do all these out of town jobs like up in Wyoming or all the way out to Grand Junction, Aspen, whatever it is, right? you have to be taking care of those hours of service. If you log in and you have any of those hours in red, something happened. You're still going to have to agree and certify so that way I can fix them, or Jam if you're here taking over for me or whatever. We still have to fix those things, but you got to keep track of that. One of the situations I have is that we have a great driver, and I just talked to him this morning, and shout out to him. He knows who this is as soon as he hears this, but he loves going out of town, likes doing all the special jobs, but he's a workaholic. He's here doing Coors on the weekends and all that stuff, right? You got to keep track of those hours of service. And, dispatch, they got a lot of things on their plate. They got a lot of things they got to try to remember aside from just dispatching, certain jobs and certain loads and all that stuff. Give them a kind reminder. Hey, I'm about to go over, my 70 hours for the week. If you've been working long days all week long and you're here on a Saturday afternoon, your 70 hours is pretty much up by 1 in the afternoon or 2, somewhere around there, right? If you're working till 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you've pretty much exceeded your 70 hours. And next thing you know, you go out of town on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is. The last 8 days, you go out to a port of entry, they're going to want to see your ELD logs, and they're going to see that there's a violation on one of those days for going over a shift, your cycle, whatever the case is. So if you guys want to learn more about that, get with one of us, and we'll be happy to go over that kind of stuff with you guys.
Absolutely.
But big thing, I think, is just keep track of your hours of service in Samsara. Certify your logs, please. That helps us. That helps me a lot, as far as making sure everything is correct and if I need to correct anything.
JR, I got a little distracted there. I just want to make sure, did you hit start and stop at the same place?
No, I did not.
Okay, so that is one other thing about the 14-hour rule. You got to start and stop at JFW. You can't start here, drive 13 hours, even if it's less than 150 miles away. You have to start and stop at the same location. If you start here, you finish here. Start at yard 23, you finish at yard 23. That's a very important part of that rule.
Oh, most definitely, absolutely.
That's what makes you local.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. There is another exemption. I forgot to touch on that. It's called the big day, the 16-hour big day exemption. We are allowed 1 day out of the week to go over those 14 hours. The big thing about that, though, is that the previous 5 days, you have to have started and stopped at the same place for the local exemption, right?
Gotcha.
So, if it's a Saturday, or I'm sorry, let's say a Friday, right? Because Fridays are pretty busy. Everybody's trying to get as much material on a Friday for the weekend, whatever it is. Maybe you have a 16-hour day. Technically, the 4 previous days, you should have started and stopped at the same place. So if you've gone out of town, that doesn't apply to you. You can't use a 16-hour day.
Now, is that extra 2 hours, because I've always wondered this, is that just to get home, or you could just have a 16-hour day?
You can just have a 16-hour day.
Okay.
Provided that, again, you started and stopped at the same place.
All the other things, you had a 10-hour reset, all those other things have to be in play.
If I went out of town Monday and Tuesday, yesterday,
can't do it.
I can't do it. I can't do that today or any time this week.
What if you had 4 days starting and stopping, same place, 10-hour reset, no more than 14 hours, but then you're going out of town? Can't do it because you're on ELD.
Can't do it. Now you're on ELD.
Now you're on ELD. Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy how much we have to shift and how many laws we have to abide by, I guess. I mean, trucking or drivers, CDL drivers, we're so regulated. I think it's the most regulated industry in the U.S.
Well, I don't know.
One of.
Say. It's highly
aside from airline pilots and things like that.
It's highly regulated, that's for sure. Yep. Okay, cool. Tracy wants to bring this up. He wants us to talk about JFW tickets. Let me roll back, though. Ultimately, it's the driver's responsibility to run legally, right? I know you touched on that a little bit, but this isn't one of those things, well, if nobody finds out, I'm good. Because what we're losing sleep over is having an accident, you were running illegally in regards to hours of service, and somebody gets hurt, or they don't even get hurt, but they say they're hurt, and now we have a lawsuit. Like, this is what keeps us up. So you as a driver, if you're pushing it and you're intentionally going over your hours, it's not a good thing. You'll be named in that lawsuit as well. We're seeing it happen right now where, we had an accident. It was our fault. I mean, the guy's kind of full of it because it wasn't a very high impact accident. He wants big, big money, but the driver was also named and then they're going to assign responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? This guy was responsible, 50% or however it works. So keep in mind, it's up to you guys.
If I could add to that, Jam, too, we have some amazing drivers here, some very motivated ones, and they want to get loads. They want to get jobs done and all that stuff. And we understand that. Guys, that doesn't mean that we should push our limits as to what needs to be done right or not right. I'd like to say that don't be afraid of losing out on a load because you didn't volunteer for it or whatever. Please say something. There's nobody's going to look down on you. It may, for some, it may feel that way or something, but you're not doing anything wrong. At the end of the day, we do want to run this place correctly, and we're doing it the right way and making sure we're defendable. The last thing you want is exactly what Jam said, is you get into some type of accident, and that's where the investigating begins, and how many hours of sleep did this person have, or rest, or whatever. And the last thing you want to know, or the last thing anybody wants to find out, is that, oh yeah, they finished at 7 p.m. and they came in at 2 a.m. because they want to get a head start on things. And it's not a good look for anybody.
Nope. No, sir. All right. Back to the JFW tickets. After hauling the dirty rock, we found out how many drivers did not have a ticket book or did not know how to fill out a JFW ticket. If a driver doesn't have an assigned truck, it's a good idea for them to carry a ticket book with them. They can carry it in their clipboard or their bag. Excellent point, Tracy. If you are slip seating, perhaps put together a little bit of a travel bag with all the things that you need to run your day. The JFW ticket book's important because you may go pick up a load that they don't get the pit ticket. That's confidential, where the material came from, and you're just going to get a JFW ticket to them. Also, if you have, in some instances, I know we're supposed to switch over and connect. Sometimes you don't switch over and you got to fill out a JFW ticket for breakdown time or something like that, or wait time. And then in this case, it was a special job where we're not scaling out or anything like that. Or maybe we were. I don't think we were, but it's pay by load and we need to keep track of those tickets. So on the ticket book, it's pretty simple. It'll have your name, your truck number, the customer name. Sometimes the customer is going to be JFW for wait time. Well, not for wait time. Well, yeah, for wait time for the driver, it's going to be to us. The case with the dirty rock, maybe Brandon was a customer. It'll ask you your location. Just put as much information down there as you can. The more information, the better. So if you have any questions about that, just stop by the office. We'll get you a ticket book and we'll show you how to fill it out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as far as the ticket book, it's very simple ticket. That's all it is. It's a billing style ticket, and very simple. Ask for your who's the customer, who's the person we're billing, and your name as the driver. What truck are you driving? I think one of those is what location you're working. Could be an address, could be a plant, a pit, whatever it is, right?
Yes, sir.
And then it just simply asks what is the job, or I forget how specifically it says, but the job is maybe, taking out concrete and taking it to pit 14 or something like that, or hourly ticket because, was waiting over 20 minutes. And then at the very bottom, just, simple things like how many hours are you charging, or how many loads are you charging, things like that. Sometimes you got to add a little bit more to that. And that's what that big, what work is being done section is kind of part of. You just kind of write your description on there. So that way we know exactly why we're billing and what we're billing.
Sure. I like it. This is coming from Brandon Santa Gravel, one of the big bosses over there. And it reads, we need to address a couple minor issues that could end up being major that could end up being major issues if we don't get ahead of them. Like Sedalia, the Knicks pit has few specific regulations we are bound to follow to hold our permit to operate out of that site. I may have failed on communicating these to you, and if so, I apologize. The two main rules that we must follow are right only, both entering the site, coming from the west, heading eastbound to turn south into the site, and right only on exiting the site, eastbound on 66 to Highway 85. We cannot, under any circumstances, either exit or enter the pit turning left. The best practice for this is to try to have all trucks who are heading to the pit use I-25 to get to Highway 66. And any trucks leaving the pit will be bound to utilizing US 85 to go either north or south. Additionally, we cannot access County Road 19 at any point after leaving the Nix property, meaning we cannot utilize CR 19 to cut south and back west to catch I-25. This is strictly prohibited, and Colorado State Patrol and CDOT can shut us down for doing this. We also cannot utilize County Road 19 empty and heading to the Nix property. So that was kind of a little confusing for some people this week because we use County Road 19 at other points, not going to or from the Nix pit. But if you're going to Nix, stay off County Road 19. That's it.
Yeah, the big thing there, and we've been trying to portray this, whether it's through Connect Team since pretty much Monday, I believe, and if not before that, but the left turns into a pit or the left turns out of a pit, that highway is 65 miles an hour, and the cars are sometimes flying way faster than that. And it's hard to judge. I don't know if anybody has, maybe yourself, Jam, you look left, right, you see that car that looks like, it may look like they're a half a mile away or whatever, but they are flying. And it's not until they start getting closer and closer that you realize, like, holy crap, they're going pretty fast. And if we're caught in the middle of making a left-hand turn where we have our truck and trailer blocking the whole road as we're trying to get into the lanes or whatever, that's where big accidents can happen. And that's what we're trying to avoid pretty much. And aside from just, adhering to an agreement that Nix Pit and Brandon have made with the residents around there and CDOT and Colorado State Patrol.
Yep, super dangerous. If a car can't get shut down because you turn in front of them and they go into that trailer, it's bad news.
Yeah.
So big welcome and shout out to Super Dave Weldon. He was able to join us this morning.
Nice to have
Howdy,
you.
everybody.
Yeah. Yes. We feel relief now. Super Dave, you could just talk for the next 30 minutes.
I don't know. I just was talking for an hour.
Well, that's true. How was your interview?
It was okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, shooting from the hip is kind of what we said before we started, so we're going at it.
Yeah. So you guys know he's going to come back at 4:00 for a test drive.
Oh, sweet.
Very
so
nice.
I think I'll be available.
Okay.
But just so you know.
Sweet. Super Dave, did you have anything you wanted to add into the Nix Pit going to and coming?
Yeah, I've had several folks ask me already. They're like, hey, what's up with that? There's no signs, there's no weight limits or anything. And this is not something that has been set up by the municipality of Platteville or Firestone or any of those things. This is an arrangement that Brandon had to make to get the pit permitted to mine there. And there used to be noise regulations up at the Morrison Quarry, and technically, if they violated these agreements, they will pull that permit. And so it's a big deal. We really have to abide by it. And then, I was talking with a driver yesterday, and I said, well, I bet it'll add 30 minutes on to the travel time. And he was like, no, it's going to add way more than that. I get it, but I think what we need to do is just maybe keep track of our time and see exactly what the travel times are. And I mean, if we have to, bring it up at a lunch meeting with Brandon, then we can do so. But it is a big deal because you don't want to be the guy that costs JFW the haul, or even worse, costs Brandon the permit to mine.
Yeah, and all of our rates pretty much are supposed to include whatever route we're supposed to be taking. And if it doesn't, I think we've been pretty good. Jim and Dave have been very good about, just like you said, sitting down at lunch with Brandon and, hey, bringing up these topics about like, hey, this, because of these detours or whatever specific route we have to take, we will have to change this or that, So that's a great thing about having that partnership with them, that they're always willing to listen. And it's no different than like Pit 21. Pit 21, you cannot be part of the agreement for that quarry is we can't be on Central Boulevard after 4 p.m., so Plant 13 Sedalia, we cannot be down there before 6 a.m. or after 6 p.m. for noise and dust and whatever other agreements they made there.
Yeah, the same goes for Plant 14.
Plant 3?
Yeah, can't go in there before 6 a.m. either.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. Plan 3, there's just a lot of, agreements that we just have to abide by. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Next item on the list is the window shades that we've been putting on. One of the nice things that it looks like those window shades are capable of is coming on and off very easily.
Yeah.
Right? We weren't involved in an accident this morning. It was not our fault. We got hit by a drunk driver. The driver did nothing wrong, but we did notice he had his window shades up in his truck. Not saying he did anything wrong, but the wrong person gets a hold of that. That might be a point of contention if this person lawyers up and say we caused the accident. These accidents are just so wild. The way that the blame gets assigned to us so quickly, we need to do everything possible to mitigate that.
Yeah.
So if you're running those window shades that either suction cup up or just stick into the bottom part of the window and the top part of the window, please take those down before sunrise. Yeah, during the dark hours. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this reminds me of a situation a few years ago, and I don't know if maybe you guys remember this, but there was a tandem that got into an accident up north on Highway 34 in Kersey Road. Nothing wrong. Tandem driver was not doing anything wrong. He was actually just going across Highway 34 off of Kersey, right?
Mm.
And a car just came and pretty much just T-boned him, right? Flipped him over, whatever the case is. So not his fault technically, but because that tandem driver or the tandem itself was tinted, they came after him because he could have avoided that person from crashing into him had he not had tint. That was the argument.
They're saying he couldn't see him.
Yeah, they're saying because of the limited visibility, he could have avoided this accident. He could have been more defensive or whatever the case is, right? Even though it was the car's fault, but they still put some blame on him.
Got it.
I guess as far as accidents go, just some of the procedures, because we haven't had one in a while, knock on wood, aside from today, right? But
how dare you?
It's like getting on the radio when nobody's talking. It's awfully quiet out there, right?
Brother,
yeah. What is
Superstitions.
that?
There we go.
Oh,
Superstitions.
Just, procedures, what to do and all that. Obviously, make a phone call to Jam or myself. If it's at off hours, things like that, try calling more than once. Me specifically, I have a do not disturb on my phone because obviously I'm either asleep or, I'm on my off time or whatever. But if you call more than once within a certain time frame, please.
It rings through.
Please make sure it's an emergency, first of all.
I mean, that's why some of us, because I know Jim and Dave don't, I'm not sure if Super Dave does or not, but we put the do not disturb on because we have drivers call us with some things that could absolutely wait till 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 12 p.m. or that day or in the next 30 days. But we have, each other on our favorites, so it'll ring through. But yeah, if you call, same thing with my phone. If you call it twice, it'll get through.
Yeah, yeah. And, and just in case, procedure-wise, at least the way I've been using it is in your Samsara app for like an accident or like an incident that you have at a plant or a pit and you damage something, there's a tile in your Samsara app called Documents, and it will give you an option to create a new document, and you'll have 3 or 4 options in there. Obviously, choose the option that fits whatever it is you're trying to do. One of them being damage incident report, or in this case of this morning would be an accident report, a traffic accident report, obviously. So just make sure you get in there and do that because it's super helpful. It just asks some questions on there that we need to ask, like, did somebody get towed away? Did somebody go to the hospital? Who got ticketed, if anybody, And the great thing about it, as far as for what I like it there, is that it geotags where the accident happened, what time it was at, and it just has all the information on there. And that's what makes it so easy, guys. So,
nice.
But yeah. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I need to be better about guiding people to use that. I'm just set in my ways on the accidents, I guess, but I will try harder to have them use that. Yes, sir.
I guess kind of adding to the shades, Jam.
Yeah.
I think I wrote down here like having hoodies up. Obviously it's covering the sides of your eyes.
Yeah,
if
your
you
peripheral
have it that
vision.
far up.
Yeah,
your curtains or towels on the back window.
If you have your hoodie on, pull it back. You can pull it back where when you turn your head, it does not affect your peripheral vision if you choose to have your hoodie up. But
yeah, just all those things, they may seem like we're kind of nitpicking little things, but after you handle so many cases of accidents and why we have to pay or why it's our fault or why it may not be, these are the things that stick out and always get mentioned to us.
Yeah. After you see the big numbers that are involved, it kind of wakes you up a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. Soup, you have anything you want to add to the discussion part of today's show?
I did a ride along this morning, and we went into the Amrise pit, Platte Valley, the old Platte Valley, and I bet I haven't been in that pit for 15 years.
Huh.
And Nisha hasn't ever been in there before, and we were hauling 3/4 rock. She was taking it down to Central, but there's a lot of little roads in there, as well as a concrete plant, and there's travel directions to get a tear weight. There's a specific route to go to the rock where they're loading rock.
Did you guys load up in front of the scale or off the belt?
That from what I gather, that pile is Brandon's pile. That's what the loader said. But I guess my advice is to ask questions on the CB. Don't be shy. Bring up that you haven't been in there before you drive down the wrong road or do something that gets you in trouble. Stop and ask. Did it take us extra long to get out? Yeah, it did. I mean, it took us at least an hour to get out because I don't think they even started loading till after 6. I think it was 10 after 6 before I even heard a peep on the CB radio. But Nisha was super appreciative. I want to give a shout out to Armando because he kind of coached us through where to go to get to the rock and that. So
he would know.
He's been in there more recently than us, I guess, but it's a pretty confusing little pit, but everybody was very nice. And even the loader told us, next time she comes back to go in a certain way to cut out that whole line for the sand,
right?
Which we kind of got stuck in. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Tracy, he just made dispatch on that the other day, and right away he pulled up a map. He's like, here's where you're loading the rock. I'm like, good to know.
Yeah, not off the belt, that's for sure.
Yep.
I mean, so it was actually Armando that said, is this where we will always load for Brandon? And the guy said, yeah, this is Brandon's pile. So it was weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Man.
But don't be afraid to ask questions. Get on the right CB channel and, speak up before you do something wrong if you're going into a pit that you're not familiar with.
I like it.
I think something that's always worked out for me in those instances, Super Dave, because knowing how loaders, CBs sometimes are pretty weak or you can't get out. Maybe you have a weak radio, whatever. I think the best thing that's happened for me or that I've done when I haven't been somewhere is just stopping at the office. Scale office or whatever and going in and asking for a map or more direction, things like that. And yeah, sometimes we're in a rush. Nope, got to go get that load, and I get it. But that first time you're there, if you could get all the info to do it correctly, after that, everything is so smooth after that. So just something I think that's always helped me out.
Heck yeah. I like it. Cool. Anything else, Soup?
Gosh, not off the top of my head.
Did you have a dad joke you want to roll back to?
I don't.
Okay, cool. Well, what is coming up next is Father's Day. So shout out and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Happy Father's Day to everybody out there.
Yep. We also have this Friday is Juneteenth. Okay, so happy Juneteenth to everybody. That's a nice holiday to celebrate.
Absolutely.
It is a bank holiday. So I know payroll the settlements was sent out early. That was brought up just so you guys understand why. But payroll will still be on Monday. So
yeah, definitely should be.
But you should have your settlements today. But don't think you're going to get paid early.
Correct. Correct.
Yep.
And, because Monday is payday, and that's not a bank holiday. So
right.
Yeah, exactly. Joanne just had to get it in early because Friday is a bank holiday.
Yeah.
And I think just a bit of a thing there is that why we only celebrate, or not celebrate, but why JFW observes the 6 holidays that we do, which is New Year's Day, Labor Day, July 4th, Memorial Day, and
Christmas.
Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yep. And those are, I guess, the more, widely observed days. And there's like 5 other holidays that are federal that,
like Columbus Day,
President's Day, things like that, right? So just to let you guys know, we pretty much follow the same holidays that Brandon does. And, if Brandon is working, we're working. And that just happens to be for example, like this Friday, or like, again, we said President's Day, Columbus Day, all that stuff, right?
So we don't get Truck Driver Appreciation Day off?
No.
You
We
gotta
appreciate you for being here and get to work.
What's up? Yeah. Hey, I just got to throw this out there. This was amusing too. So Nisha had a aha moment this morning because I said, "Oh, that's Armando," and she like, "That's Armando," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the sergeant. He's the guy that does all of the tips and tricks on the podcast."
I thought he was taller.
I thought he was
She never saw
He
him.
sounded
She just
taller.
heard him on the CB, but it was cool because she was like, "Oh, that's Armando."
Yes.
So, yeah,
Armando's a bit of a celebrity, is what
Yeah.
you're saying?
absolutely.
Yeah, I actually went through his employee documents and saw a signature off on him. So I have his signature.
There you
Oh,
go.
His autograph.
his autograph.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Heck yeah, buddy.
Very nice.
Cool. All right. Questions from the audience. Ricardo Cordova has a great question. He's always thinking about these things. I like that about Ricardo. He asks, do you guys plan on putting a JFW logo on the north end of the building? It would be nice to see it while passing on Highway 270. And man, he's got a point. The way that thing pops on the front,
Oh, yeah.
it would be so nice to see it pop on the back. But there is an issue, and I just got an answer back from Brother Dave and also Kendrick. He was in the know on this, and they say, where did it go? Anyway, it said it will cost too much money from the city or Commerce City. They will charge us to have signage facing I-270, so it's too expensive to put. Yeah.
I bet it's because we're technically promoting ourselves to whoever's driving by, maybe, or something like that. So
Right. What was their exact wordage?
I got your
Adams County or Commerce City will not allow us to have signage on the north end of the building. And then Brother Dave said, unless we pay an extremely large amount for it. So, man, talk about overregulated.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like a ripoff.
everything is money.
Yeah, it's our building. We can't do what we want with it.
Nope. Oh, there's a song out there about we won't do what you told us. Do you know what song I'm talking about?
What song? What?
No.
Not familiar.
Tell you later.
Kendrick did put out a reminder here. He says, reminder for the drivers to park their personal vehicles in the same spot they pulled their truck out of. Guys, I know it's, especially at the new yard, it seems like we got all this space and we could just park wherever. Maybe it's just like a little spot right next to your truck or something like that, but it's extremely important that you guys are parking where your truck parks. There's a lot of movement out there. There's a lot of, dirt being moved from one side or the other. Certain things have to be done maybe close to your spot or whatever. And the last thing we need is a car that, we don't have keys to or anything, and it's just right there. So please, park your cars where your trucks are parked. On top of that, too, for those of you guys that are parking or backing up to the parking spots that are made up right there at the fuel islands, the new fuel islands, please be very careful on how you're backing up and all, because just the other day I saw one of the trucks backing up and they were basically straddling what are those things called? The bollards or whatever the hell.
Ballards.
Yeah, the ballards. And you can't see it because they're lower than the trailer and they're, basically centered with the trailer, and they were about maybe 5 or 6 inches away from hitting it. So be very careful with that. If you got to get out and look. A good trick of this to make sure that you're stopping in a correct spot so you're not going to hit something is put a glove down on the ground, use that as a marker, put something down on the ground, maybe a hammer or your brush or something, and use it as a marker as to where your wheels need to stop before you go and hit something, or have a spotter, even better.
Like it. Tips and tricks with Armando the Sergeant Del Val. Any takers on reading this?
Yeah, I'll
Anybody?
read it.
Sweet.
So, tips and tricks with Armando the Sergeant Del Val. This is number 56.
Jeez.
Wow, that's a lot. So he titled this, and this is, I'm guessing, just an abbreviation or acronym, whatever you want to call it, PCC or PCCs and PCIs is the way I'm taking that. Good morning, JFW family, and welcome back to another week of tips and tricks. Please remember that the purpose of these tips and tricks are just ways for us to be helpful, better, and safer drivers on the road. Let's be JFW professionals. This week's tips and tricks, Sergeant Del Val will be discussing about pre-combat checks and pre-combat inspections. We're going to war, boys. So at my unit, whenever my squad and I are getting ready for a training mission, I'll always have my soldiers do a pre-combat check and I'll do a pre-combat inspection. The purpose of the pre-combat checks and inspections is so that we have everything we need for our mission and also checking to see if it's at least mission capable. So before we roll out, every soldier will check their equipment and double check that they got them. Reminds me of a DVIR. The main things I'm checking for is eye and ear protection, military standard gloves, some type of water source, and at least 2 or more quarts of water. Their assigned weapons, and basic load of ammunition. Once they all completed their combat checks, now I'll be doing my combat inspections. I would shake their waters and make sure it feels full. I would inspect their weapon and ammo and make sure they're fully loaded and weapon is on safe and on green status, which is weapon on safe and no round in the chamber. Now we'll inspect their gloves, eye protection, and ear protection and make sure they are mission capable. If they're damaged or missing an item, they did not follow the first sentence from the warrior ethos. I will always place the mission first. So my job is to inspect their gear and make sure that they are ready for the mission. Here at JFW, it's the same thing, except you should be checking and inspecting your items. So with this, you should check your tool bags once in a while. Make sure you have what JFW requires you to have. I would recommend you get 2 empty jugs and use them for washer fluid and coolant. And if you do already have them, inspect them and check to see if they need to be refilled. Check and inspect your shovel and broom. I've been on some trucks to where the broom was completely broken and there wasn't any extras. Do you have a tow pin and a tow hook? Get with anyone from safety and please get one and store it inside your tool bag. Again, I would recommend you acquire some type of gloves and eye protection. Gloves will keep your hands safe from any possible heat from touching metal and could prevent cuts to your hands, and wearing eye protection could keep your eyes safe from dust when sweeping out your trailer at the end of the day. Conduct self-checks and inspections to your items that aren't listed on your pre- and post-trip samsara. Make sure you have what you need to be ready for your mission. Let's be mission ready. Please let me know on Connect Team what you think about this week's tips and tricks, and thank you all again for listening and for the positive feedbacks. Let's start doing things the JFW way. Until next week, Armando the Sergeant Delval, 0073. Together we can be better. Whoop, whoop. That's very good and so true, Armando. I mean, yeah. The DVIR, I like that comment he makes on there that, go above and beyond to check more than just what's on there. The DVIR is basically just, the minimum, the basic, whatever it is. Nothing wrong with you doing more checks than that,
Especially out on the road. I mean, I know we're doing pre-trip inspections, but throughout the day, you should be walking down that passenger side of the truck, looking for things out of the ordinary, listening for air leaks, stuff like that. So,
absolutely.
Yep. Whenever you stop, if you stop to get a hamburger or something like that, or pull into the 7-Eleven, always do a walk around when you come back out.
Yep.
Something might have moved. Maybe somebody parked right behind you and you can't see them or something like that.
Yeah. One round, you're not, you don't have a hub seal fluid in your wheel, and then the next round, all of a sudden, oh crap, I got a lot of liquid in there.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, Soup,
nice.
You want to hit us with that high road hauling?
Okay. I don't keep track, but, I think this is number 359 for me.
That's funny.
But anyway, this is something that maybe your mom or dad or grandma would tell you when you were a kid, but it really is something that you should practice and maybe follow. Never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. And that is attributed to either Ben Franklin or Thomas Jefferson. They were, this is interesting. I never really thought about it. Did they know each other? But they certainly did. They both were signers on the Declaration of Independence, and among other things, they were actually close friends and worked together on several projects, including the Declaration of Independence. So it's not a surprise that they both were credited with this popular but true statement. Even though both men lived 250 years ago, this quote is all about the present. Too many people focus on the past or the future. We can lament the past and plan for the future, but we can only get things done in the present, instead of waiting until tomorrow to get things started. Procrastination is a dangerous thing. Besides the obvious, it won't get done. It also creates a kind of momentum or lack thereof. It's a negative momentum, moving slowly and accomplishing little or nothing. On the other side of the spectrum is the energy that creates motivation, creativity, and accomplishment. All that pent-up energy is released and gathers speed, strength, and momentum. Tony Robbins, who is a popular motivational speaker and has written many books about it, but Tony Robbins has said that I try to never leave the site of a decision without taking action. Does that sound like Thomas and Ben's quote? What Tony is saying is you need to create your own momentum by taking a step. No matter how small, that step is the toughest to take, but it can unleash the energy you need to get these things done. It's like an avalanche. The tiniest nudge of a skier or a snowmobile or even a gust of wind unlocks that vast amount of energy. The snow starts moving quickly and decisively in one direction until it's finished. What have you been putting off in your life? A project to do? Something to stop? Cleaning that's needed? Some rearranging or a schedule adjustment? The hardest part is that very first step. Like kicking a ball, the amount of energy you put into it determines how far the ball will roll. Friction exists, but it will try to slow your task, just like the ball. Your task will encounter apathy, procrastination, and distraction, and you might need to kick that ball again to keep it rolling towards the goal. Try tackling the worst task first. After you accomplish that, the rest is easy. Don't let your brain avoid the tough things in favor of the instant gratification you can get when you put things off until tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got two good quotes today. I couldn't decide. Both of them are by Tony Robbins. The first one says, "It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped." Boom.
Yeah, very nice.
Yep. And the next one, "If you do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten."
Huh.
And that was also spoken by Tony Robbins. So don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today.
I agree. Versus the other quote, why do something today when you could put it off till tomorrow?
I don't know that quote.
I think things accumulate if you just leave them. It's kind of like laundry, right?
Oh,
you go and
boy.
do laundry. Are you going to get it done right away, or is it going to take 5 to 7 business days?
Yeah, sometimes it's on the edge of my bed there for a while, where if you just do it right away, it's gone, right?
Yeah. It's just like keeping your house clean or something like that. Like it's super, super, at least for me, it feels really great to just know everything is in order.
So when you don't do laundry, do you just run out to Walmart and buy some more underwear?
No, I do laundry.
You don't have 100 pairs of drawers?
You know what? Doing the laundry is not the problem. It's the folding the laundry.
You're right.
Yes.
Putting it away
That's
afterwards.
the part that sucks.
You're right.
Yeah, I just bought a book on overcoming procrastination. I'm going to start reading it tomorrow.
Yeah. You sure you don't want to read that next week?
Just not today.
Don't got time today. Maybe
Nope.
tomorrow.
Final thoughts, everybody?
Don't use County Road 19.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. What are we? T-minus 36 days, 37, 36 maybe?
It's close.
35?
It's getting close.
T-minus 30 plus days, guys. We're almost there
Yep.
to get to the new building.
All right, guys, let's say the creed and get on out.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us.
Together
we are accident-free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Catch you next week.
See ya.
Adios.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors a-closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.